Hello, this is Tom with the Tractor Rescue Ranch. This video marks the end of first cut haying season, and I thought I'd do a little update, and when I get done talking, stay tuned for a little bit more video of finishing things up here. But anyway, this hay barn is full, and it goes back in there quite a ways. If you can get over, there's a whole nother tier way back in there. So I've got all of this hay, and then I just this morning finished up putting this hay in this side. So this barn here, I'm wanting to end up with it clear full all the way out to the end like this one is. So by hopefully the second cutting, I've got probably maybe 20 acres that's going to be good for second cutting, that they have some water. If they can get enough water on it, we'll have a pretty good second cutting on about 20 acres. And so that'll be a lot less work than what I got here. I've got this old section here that goes all the way to the back of the barn of last year's hay, and I'll just be pulling that out and feeding that first. So I still got a lot of space here that I got to get filled. But anyway, I had a guy comment saying he didn't recognize some of this hay that we were doing here. And so this here is a alfalfa yellow clover mix, and that yellow clover, I'm not sure what the technical name is of that yellow clover, but it's a tall yellow clover and so his hay field was full of a really nice alfalfa, plus that yellow clover was mixed in. And so that was the majority of the hay. This bale just broke as I was unloading, so I'll get it fed out here to the goats pretty quick. But anyway, that was the majority of the hay that I did, and some of that was done in different ways. I did some of that hay, did everything on that with some of that hay with my equipment, and on that section of it I did for 50-50 shares with him, the sections of it that I did with my equipment. And then I also helped him do a bunch of the rest of it. It was a 40-acre parcel, and I helped him with a bunch of the rest of it using his equipment, and I helped him haul it as well. And so I didn't get the stuff I used his equipment with, I didn't get the 50-50 split. But anyway, I ended up with 436 bales of that alfalfa clover mix, and we put somewhere around 1,400 bales of that same stuff up in a stack for him. And then I put up 30 bales of just straight yellow clover. That was, I'd mentioned in an earlier video, that's some pretty poor quality hay there, but it was free. I got everything I did on that one. So on my place, with this drought that we've got going this year, I only did 42 bales, and generally speaking, this place of mine on a good year will give me a couple hundred bales, so I was way short on that. Another one of my friends that I'm doing a bunch of work with, two of the little fields that I did for him, I ended up with 27 bales, and he had 27 bales as well, and that was straight beautiful alfalfa. Another field of his was just mostly straight grass, a little bit of alfalfa in it, and I ended up with 80 bales from that, and he ended up with 80 bales. And then up in the mountains, up the creek there in the mountains in those hay meadows, I got 53 bales, and 53 bales to him. So anyway, I ended up with 665 bales from the first cutting, and that's pretty good, all of the work I did. I started out thinking that I was going to keep track of all my expenses, you know, all the fuel that I used and everything, and it just turned out too hard to keep track of everything. I give up on that, but I am thinking, just tentatively, I probably have $2 a bale into all of this hay, and that counts the wire for the wire baler and the fuel costs. It doesn't count any of the depreciation on equipment. I have very little money in the equipment since it's all old wore out equipment, but so I don't know how you would add in the depreciation on equipment. You sure couldn't do what I'm doing here with new expensive equipment. It just, the numbers just don't even come close, but I'm thinking I'm coming out pretty dang good, and I've put a lot of time in this project this summer. Everybody probably knows that have been watching that I haven't been getting the videos out because I just don't want to do a repeat haying video day after day. That doesn't serve anybody any good, but I've put a lot of hours in, which to me is a little bit different. Being retired, my time isn't worth what it would be to if a guy was trying to earn a living with this. So the time doesn't really bother me that much, and I enjoy what I do. It's funny that when you were kids, hauling hay was a real chore that you hated to do, and then when you're an old man, you get pleasure in doing it. So that's a little bit odd, but that's the way it is. I enjoyed all of this work that I did here this summer on this first cutting. Looking at the rest of the year for hay, I am hoping to, I don't know, get maybe another 100 bales from the second cutting, and then I've got another farmer around here that has an organic farm. He sells organic hay, and he can't use any herbicides on it, and he's got some hay that he's selling pretty cheap that's got some weeds in it. And with goats to feed, that's really good hay. Them goats love the weeds. And so if I run short after the second cutting, I can, for pretty cheap, I can buy a little bit more hay that's got those weeds in them. And from what they tell me, if you feed a horse hay that's got weeds in it, he spreads those seeds out everywhere. But the way I understand it, goats don't do that. The seeds that come out of that the goats eat aren't viable. They don't work, from what I'm told. And so it doesn't bother me a bit to feed hay with weeds in it to goats, because they like them, and they won't get spread around, supposedly. So anyway, like I said, I'll follow this little recap here up with a little bit of footage to finish this video, and thanks for watching. Hauling hay the old school way with a Model A John Deere and a bale wagon. This 40-acre parcel, we're getting most of it off. It's been a lot of work. Boy, that Bobcat made short work of backing up that 2-axle trailer. I know the old timers could do that, back it up with a tractor and stuff, but I'm not that good. But the Bobcat makes it really easy to do.